The strongest creature in One Piece told Luffy exactly how to beat him. Devil fruits don't decide who wins a fight. Haki does. That's not a fan theory. Kaido says it, and yet most fans still can't explain what Haki actually is. They call it armor, or aura, or vague power-up energy. All three answers are wrong in ways that actually matter. This video breaks the real mechanics down, tier by tier. By the end, one detail from Chapter 1 will look completely different. Here's the root. First, what Haki really is, and who can use it. Then the three colors, and the secret tiers hiding above them. Then why willpower beats matter in this world, every single time. And finally, the Haki mystery Oda still refuses to answer. Let's start with the part almost everyone gets wrong. Haki is not a superpower. That's the first misconception. Rayleigh defines it when he trains Luffy after the war. Haki is the power dwelling in every living being on the planet. Presence, willpower, fighting spirit. Nothing mystical about it. Every villager, every marine, every king already has it inside. Most people just never notice it and never awaken it. So the real question is what forces it to wake up. And the manga answered that before it ever said the word Haki. 400 chapters before Sabaody, Skypiea had a power called mantra. Priests dodged attacks before they happened. A child heard distant voices. Enel wired mantra into his lightning and heard an entire island. Rayleigh later confirms it. Mantra is just observation Haki renamed. Oda planted a whole national Haki culture years early, unnoticed. Amazon Lily runs on the same buried truth. Kuja warriors coat their arrows with Haki like it's everyday archery. And Elder Neon names all three colors there, long before Rayleigh. Go back even further. Chapter 1. Shanks glares at a Sea King. The beast flees instantly, no punch thrown, just a look. Fans now read that scene as Conqueror's Haki, hiding in plain sight. So Haki wasn't invented to patch overpowered Logia users after the time skip. It was the operating system of this world from page 1, which raises the real question. What actually wakes it up? The answer stays consistent across the entire series. Extreme adversity. Kobe awakens observation in the middle of Marineford's chaos. He hears the soldiers' voices vanishing one by one as they fall. Usopp awakens it at Dressrosa, pushed far past his limit. He snipes a target he can't even see, guided by auras. Luffy's biggest Haki jumps all follow near-death defeats. Haki responds to desperation the way muscle responds to load. But that creates a physics problem the series has to solve. How does invisible willpower punch a man made of fire? Armament Haki is the answer, and it's weirder than fans think. Rayleigh describes it as invisible armor made of your own spirit. It doesn't come from muscle, it flows out from your life force. Here's the detail everyone misses. Armament doesn't cancel devil fruits. Sea stone nullifies a fruit. The user goes limp and powerless. Haki does something completely different. It touches the substance underneath. A Logia body turns to smoke, flame, or light when struck. Armament reaches past the transformation and grips the real body inside. The fruit keeps working. The user still gets hit. That's why Rayleigh could block Kizaru, a man made of light. This one distinction defines the entire post-time skip meta. Before Haki, a Logia was a walking checkmate. Crocodile nearly killed Luffy twice on pure intangibility. After the time skip, intangibility stopped being an answer at the top. The Grand Line's endgame doesn't run on fruits, it runs on will. The Marines already know this. Every Vice Admiral wields Haki. The government's whole enforcement tier is built on will, not fruit luck. Sabaody hid this clue early. Sentomaru blocked Gear 2nd barehanded. No fruit, no explanation. Fans just shrugged and moved on. But Armament has a hidden economy almost nobody talks about. Haki is a resource. It drains and it runs out. Rayleigh warned Luffy about this exact limit during training. Luffy relearned it the hard way against Katakuri. Mid-fight, his armament ran dry and he ran away to recover. He hid in the mirror world, waiting for his tank to refill. That's why coating your whole body constantly is amateur strategy. Virgo hardened his entire body. Law still cut him in half. Spread thin, it weakens. Focused on one point, it turns lethal. The black shine is hardening, compressed armament sitting on the surface. So elite fights become timing, the exact spot, the exact second. Zoro coats his blades, Luffy compresses it into Gear 4. Gear 4 can't even exist without armament holding rubber under pressure. Now here's where the story humbles everyone. Luffy walks into Wano thinking his Haki is finished growing. A tiny old prisoner deflects him without taking a single scratch. Hyogoro, half Luffy's size, using Haki Luffy has never seen. Wano doesn't even call it Haki there. They call it Ryuo, and that name change hides the biggest mechanic in the system. Ryuo means flowing, and that is the entire secret. Basic armament is a wall, you wear it. Advanced armament is a current, you aim it. Tier 1, emission. Push the Haki out of your body. Hyogoro repels attackers without his fist ever landing. Luffy suddenly remembers Rayleigh doing this exact thing years earlier. Rayleigh deflected attacks without contact and never explained the trick. Luffy drilled it in Udon, cuffed, starving, and outnumbered. Tier 2 is nastier. Internal destruction. Flow your haki inside the target and rupture it from within. Armor becomes irrelevant. Scales become irrelevant. Toughness becomes irrelevant. That trick is how Luffy finally put real damage on Kaido. Kaido's body shrugged off barrages that leveled entire buildings. Ryuo slipped past the dragon scales and burst the tissue underneath. An old man's prison trick became the key to the strongest body alive, and the fractured names prove how ancient this knowledge is. Skypiea says mantra. Wano says Ryuo. Same power, isolated cultures. The world lost the full picture of Haki centuries ago. Keep that thought. It matters again at the very end. Observation has an advanced tier 2, and it's genuinely disturbing. Normal observation reads presence, emotion, and killing intent. You sense the attack the instant the attacker commits. Katakuri pushed it somewhere else entirely. He sees the future. A few seconds ahead, but genuinely, literally, the future. No enemy had ever once put Katakuri on his back. Luffy fought him for hours and couldn't land anything clean. Then something strange happened. Exhaustion emptied Luffy's mind. And in that emptiness, the future opened up for him too. Future sight isn't calculation. It's will, quiet enough to listen. Notice the pattern. The upgrade is never more force. It's control. Emission is controlled release. Internal destruction is controlled placement. Future sight is controlled perception. Haki rewards discipline, not rage, which makes the third color the great exception to all of it. Conqueror's Haki, the color of kings. Rayleigh says only one person in a million carries it. Training can't create it. You're born with it, or you're not. It only grows stronger as the person carrying it grows. Its basic form looks like a mass knockout wave. Luffy dropped 50,000 Fishman Island soldiers with one silent pulse. Shanks stepped onto Whitebeard's ship, and sailors fainted on the deck. But the knockout is a side effect. Conqueror's is ambition, pressurized. The will to rule, dense enough to physically touch the world. When two of them clash, the sky itself splits open. Shanks crossed weapons with Whitebeard once. The heavens tore apart. Kaido and Big Mom split the clouds over Wano the same way. And even this color hides one final tier above it. Kaido reveals it mid-fight, almost as a courtesy lesson. Only a handful of the very strongest coat their attacks in Conquerors. No contact required. The will itself becomes the weapon. Roger and Whitebeard fought this exact way decades before Luffy. Their opening clash split the air and shook the whole island. Luffy learned the coating in real time, on Onigashima's roof. Zoro's version is stranger. He had the color all along. Enma kept devouring his haki until Zoro stopped denying it. He'd been using it unconsciously for years, without believing it existed. Modern proof of this sealing arrived in chapter 1055. An admiral invaded Wano while the crews were still celebrating. Shanks never even left his ship. He flexed his will once across the entire island. Ryokugyu fled without a fight, beaten by pressure from an ocean away. And a knockout wave works like a filter, not a bomb. The weak-willed drop, the strong-willed stay standing inside it. Which brings us to Kaido's actual thesis about power. The strongest creature alive had seen every kind of ability. Fruits that make gods and monsters. He outlasted them all. His conclusion, spoken mid-fight, in chapter 1010. Devil fruit powers don't decide who wins. Only Haki transcends everything. A fruit changes what you are. Haki decides what you impose. Matter versus will. And in this world, will wins. But that answer detonates an even bigger question. Why would Oda build his entire power ceiling out of willpower? The final answer hides in the oldest layers of the story. Start with the man who conquered everything, Gol D. Roger. The pirate king never ate a devil fruit. Oda confirmed it himself outside the manga, pure haki only, the most coveted title in history, taken on willpower alone. Mihawk, the strongest swordsman alive, also carries no fruit. Now look closer at the swords themselves. Mihawk's blade, Yoru, is a true black blade, permanently black. Ryuma's Shusui is another, a national treasure of Wano. In Wano, Zoro learns blades can be turned black somehow. The manga implies decades of haki flowing through steel causes it, but the exact mechanism has never once been shown on panel. That mystery is still open, and Zoro is walking proof it matters. And then there's the ability Oda flat out refuses to explain. The voice of all things. Roger could hear the voice of everything in the world. It led him to the final island, and to its true history. Luffy hears it too. He heard Zunesha crying across the ocean. So did Momonosuke, a child with zero combat training. The Sea Kings once spoke, and Roger's crew heard them clearly. So, is this just observation haki pushed to its absolute ceiling? That's the popular theory, and the language genuinely fits. Observation has always been written as hearing voices. Kobe heard voices. Katakuri hears intent, but there's honest counter-evidence. Momonosuke never trained a single day, and the manga has never labeled the voice as Haki, not once. So the honest verdict is unconfirmed. Plausible, but deliberately unanswered. It's a card Oda is still holding for the endgame. Zoom out now, and the whole theme snaps into focus. Devil fruits are inherited luck. You find one, or you don't. Haki is authored. It grows only through struggle you chose. The world government hoards bloodlines, weapons, and inherited thrones. Pirates answer with the one power that can't be inherited, only earned. Some fans go further and tie all of this to the will of D. Inherited will is the series' oldest phrase. The link is tempting, but no panel connects them. File that idea under pure theory. So let's close the loop all the way back to chapter 1. Shanks scaring a Sea King with a glance was the entire thesis. The story opened with Will beating a monster. It never stopped. So here's the one line to remember from all of this. A devil fruit is what the world gives you. Haki is what you bring. That's the entire power system in one sentence.